Hey guys, it's Snowstorms here, and I'm going to be starting up a new series called Maple Talks, and they're just going to randomly come out. It's just going to talk about anything Maplestory, really, and this is going to be the first episode, and it's going to be on the Maplestory economy and how it kind of works and stuff. So the Maplestory economy is based on this term called mercantilism. Now, what mercantilism is it's an economic term which means that there's only a set amount of money in the world, and the only way to make money is to take it away from other people. Now, in Maplestory, this is for the most part very true because every character in the world, at most, they could only have around 2 bill. That's like the max amount of misos. So there is an only set amount of money in the world per player. And since monsters don't really drop a lot of misos, and the items that they drop, unless they're like bosses or something like that, usually don't sell for more than a few K in a shop. There actually is there's two things that kind of break this rule, and I'm going to be talking about one later in the video. So the second thing is supply and demand. Now, supply is kind of how much of an item there is, and demand is how many people want an item and how bad they want it. Now, usually in Maplestory, the better the item is, the more demand there is. But however, in Maplestory, the better the item is, the more rare it is to get it from either gachapon or even maybe from a drop, which I doubt. Maybe it's really hard to scroll. It takes a lot of luck to get that item how it is. So that's usually with the whole supply and demand thing, and I'm going to be getting a little bit more into detail about that. When there's a low supply and a high demand, the price for that item is going to be really high because there's not many of it and a lot of people want it. So people will be paying or be willing to pay a lot of money for that item. Which kind of encourages, I guess you could say, Maplers to go and try to get that item. And once enough people get that item and start making it or getting it or whatever, the supply will go up and the demand will go down, lowering the price of the item, which is why items eventually lower. And there's also another reason why they lower too, is because while the supply is getting higher, there's going to be competition, and it's going to be competition for how low you could sell it. Because if you're selling your item, for an example, lower than someone is selling theirs, people are going to buy it from you. So in order for people to get money, I guess, they have to make it lower than your price. And eventually it will just keep steadily going down as the supply goes up and the demand goes down. Overall, it brings down the price of the item. The other one is when the supply is really high and the demand is really low. So these are common items that are usually like not that great, that nobody wants. And in Maplestory, usually the less good the item is, the more common it is to get it or make it or whatever. And that's what makes items pretty much a low price and items have a high price. That's what kind of determines it. Now, the rule I was talking about that breaks it is events. I don't know if you guys could remember, but I'm pretty sure it's like the leveling ring or whatever. Like the second, like level 10, like the max level that you could go get on the ring. The second one that's tradable was like 500 mil when it first came out, maybe. So that didn't really require luck. That didn't really require you spending money. It's just an event that came out. Now, the thing about events, though, is that some people, they like to buy a lot of them and then don't sell them. Because after a while, people will like quit or become inactive or something. So eventually the supply of that item will go down. And this is actually a good money making technique if you're in the time of an event, actually. Just hold on to the item and buy more of them, actually, if they're tradable, obviously, and hold on to them. And after maybe months, a few months, maybe even a year, if you're that strong of a merchant, that item is going to be worth way, way more than you bought it for. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is merchanting guilds. Now, merchant guilds, kind of what they try to do is create a monopoly. And if you don't know what a monopoly is, it's basically where one person or company or organization or whatever owns all of something that no one else does. Therefore, they can make it for whatever price they want. So what merchanting guilds will do is they'll just hunt in the FM for, I don't know, weeks, months, whatever it takes to buy all the items, to buy all of one item in the FM. So let's just say it's a scroll for claw attack 60%, something like that. Everyone in that guild will just do nothing but look in the FM for that scroll, and if they find it, they're gonna buy it no matter what price it is. And they'll do that for weeks or months or whatever, like I said. Eventually, they'll have majority of the scrolls in the FM. They'll have a majority of all, claw for attack 60%. And that's kind of a scroll that a lot of people want. So it has a pretty high demand. Now, since they have all of them, they could put it at pretty much whatever price they want, because if people want to buy them, they have to buy it through them. So they make a lot of money off that ways, and it kind of can destroy the MS economy, because they're gonna make you pay high for an item that really shouldn't be that much. But it doesn't matter, because after enough people buy them and people get more of them, then the item will return to usual after a while. Well, anyways, that will kind of conclude this video. I hope you learned something. If you want to see more